Hello YouTubers, I'm JSky91, and today I'm going to give you guys a tutorial on how to warm up in the mornings or whenever you start cubing. I recommend doing this in the mornings. It'll just get your fingers used to cubing throughout the entire day. I've noticed that a lot of people don't really have a procedure for this. They just kind of, oh, I'll do an average of 12, or oh, I'll do slow solves, and I mean, I think that's a way to warm up, but it's definitely not the best in my opinion. And it misses a lot of points. Like most people don't realize you should stretch your fingers and things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go over my procedure. There's 5 steps to it. First is finger stretches. Second is precision turning. Third, we're gonna go over our PLLs, make sure they're where they should be. Fourth, we're going to do some turbo tracking, so work on our look ahead. And then fifth, we're going to do some slow solves, and then start off our day. The whole process should really only take somewhere around 15, maybe 20 minutes max. I normally do it quicker. I'm not gonna, for your guys' sake, I'm not gonna do every single finger, or I'm not gonna do every single part of it, which is gonna be kind of not helpful in terms of the rest of them because they're all supposed to build upon one another. So yeah, but that's the idea. So first, we're gonna start out with keeping our hands stretching. I'm gonna start with the wrists because wrists are very important. A lot of what people always say, it's always in the wrist. So yeah, first we're gonna clasp our hands together and take one wrist and bend it back the other way. And we're gonna hold for 10 seconds. All of the stretches step 1 are just gonna be 10-second holds. Yeah, so I haven't warmed up today, so you guys will see my karate cubing right now. I just woke up. I know it's like 1 in the afternoon, but I'm not feeling that great. Always seems to be when I make videos as well. So, and go to the other side. Yeah, you're just pushing straight back, not with too much force, but with enough force to, get a good stretch in. And now we're going to do the opposite. So this, you got to be gentle with this. You can break your wrist very easily. Well, I mean, you have to be stupid too, but you could break your wrist doing this. You're just going to put your hand on top and push down. And you're going for 10 seconds. And the other wrist. Yeah. Now, this next portion I already did before the video because it would take, 100 seconds, and I don't like wasting the time doing that. You're basically going to do 10 seconds per finger. But when you're doing this, you're going to pull back, and you always want to pull back along the line. If you were to flex your finger along the line of your tendon, you want to be going along that general line. So if I'm doing thumbs, I do it this way. And do the same finger on both hands. So thumb, thumb, middle, or index, index, middle, middle, ring, ring, pinky, pinky, okay? Just pull back along the lines of those things, okay? Then we're going to do some wrist rolls, just gently bringing the wrists, into the idea of moving, especially if you just woke up, like this is really good for you. You don't want to hurt anything. And we're going to do like we're doing a karate chop. We're going to pull back towards our body in a straight line, like that. Do that for 5 seconds. You don't want to do that too much. So you don't want to overstretch your hands. Yeah. And we're just going to do some quick finger movements like this, kind of warm them up, get them feeling okay. And then we're done. I like to do a little bit of that maybe at the end. But yeah, it's just basically going to stretch out our fingers, make sure we don't injure ourselves. It's very rare, obviously. But also just make sure our fingers are ready. Instead of doing 100 solves to warm up our fingers, we can just stretch them. And, 100 solves is good, but why don't we start, it's kind of annoying to do 100 shitty solves. Why don't we start doing 100 good solves or moderate solves? So yeah, that's the idea of that. Now we're going to move on to something with our actual cubes in our hands. And this is going to be precision turning. So basically what we're going to do here is pretty stupid. Well, it seems pretty stupid, but the idea is we're just going to do all the turns that we do. So, and like R, but we're going to try and make sure that each time we do our R that they line up perfectly flat. I normally try and do 10 of these, so like that was too high. That was right. Try and get 10 of them in on each side. 9, 10. And this is just going to make sure that as we're turning, we get used to turning very precision-wise. Do D's. B's. This is how I do my B's. I know it's kind of weird. pretty much how I end up doing any B that I do. Unless, you know, I do a rotation. But yeah, Fs, so the problem with Fs is, this is, I guess, the majority of the way I do Fs, but there are a lot of other ways. I also do F like this. But yeah, Fs aren't as important. Those will kind of come, especially when you start doing your PLL section. Do once, so do practice doing those. Now do R2s. This is just 10 times each. It's not that lengthy. It's just making sure that you're trying to get precision. Go as slow as you need to go in order to make sure you've got precision. My L2s are shitty as hell, so I have to go a lot slower than with these. You just want to make sure that once they get there, you know, they don't go too much above the regular where it should be. U2s. Missed one. And we're just looking, you know, I can see right as it comes to that edge, it's about the right spot, so I'll go to there. Don't want to go too far. So yeah, go through those 10 times. So I'm trying to get these done for my own sake, so that when I do my PLLs, it doesn't take too long. But yeah. Then we're gonna do D2s. Now these are important. I don't know how you guys do your D2s. A lot of people just do, you know, ring, which works, but it's not nearly as effective as it could be, and especially if we're talking about our A perms. I think you should do ring pinky. I can't do that right now because I'm not warmed up, but you should do ring finger, pinky finger for your index. Ring pinky, like this. And the reason is, it's just like when you're doing your twos, you should do like this. It's the next finger. That way you don't have to reload each time in order to do it. Yeah, so ring pinky on both sides. I recommend you can do it on both sides. It'll make things easier, especially for A perms. I do them from all 8 angles, which is really easy. It's the same. There's only 2 Ls you need to learn. You just need to learn how to mirror them and reverse them and things like that. But yeah, just do that until that feels relatively comfortable. Now this would be, if this is something new to you, it's going to take a while. This is not an easy thing. This took a lot of practice to get going faster. But yeah, do that. Then M's. Now these are the part that I find most useful for me because I suck at M's in the morning. We're going to do M's. Now I do my M's like these fingers, ring. Not everyone does, but just however you do your M's, practice them. Make sure they line up. Those H perms and Z perms and F perms now for me actually, they really suck if you don't have them, if you don't have your M's up yet. So yeah, just practice that, you know. Do it until you feel like you've got it relatively consistent. I'm not quite there right now. I would do these a little longer, but yeah, just to warm myself up. Now that we've done the precision training, then you would do the sexy move. Do that 3 or 4 times until it's finished, so full sections on each side. If you want to be really special, you can do it from the back too. I don't do that normally, but yeah. You probably should do that from the back, but whatever. All 4 angles, I guess, if you wanted to. Now we're going to move on to PLLs. And for PLLs, we're basically going to go through each of our PLLs. So, 21 PLLs. This is your C-pop, I guess. Let's say your RU or something else. You can just take whatever your last layer algs are, the ones that you use the most. So I would envision if you're RU, that would be your CLLs, CMLLs, yeah, I think that's what it is. Whatever algs you use the most that are your constant set, as opposed to like in British we have our OLLs, which are 57. I'm not going to practice those. I'm just going to practice the ones I use most often. So, yeah. And you're going to go through each of your algs and make sure you have them at the time you think they should be at. So, well, close to it. So let's say right now I'm going to start with T-perms, because that one's a relatively easy one. And I know that when I'm doing them after a day's worth of warm-up, I'm somewhere around 1 to sub 1. But I don't expect that right now. That's a little too much to expect of myself. That would take a while. So instead what I'm going to look for is something around sub 2, sub 1.2. And I'm looking to get 3 in a row of the sub 1.2. So I'm going to get out my timer and do them until I can do 3 in a row sub 1.2. I think that, you know, it's about 0.2 slower than what you think you should be at. So yeah, I'm going to go through here and do that. This might be pretty bad. Oh, whoops. not properly set up. And so 1.29. Well, it kind of messed up a little there, but that one wasn't too horrible. No, that one was pretty shitty. Sorry, I have just changed the way I finger my T-perm, so they're a little bit funky right now. Okay, that one's okay. Nope. So I mean, this can take a little bit. The first two are going to take a lot longer than the last of them are, because your fingers are still going to get used to moving fast. That's the idea here, is get your fingers used to moving fast, and to make sure that, you know, the algae you use the most, or the algae you use the most, are up to speed. Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking for, oh, I haven't even already got there. Okay, oh wait. See, like, you see how jerky my elbows are, and this is just how it is when you work up in the morning. But I'm going to spend some time here and see if I can get another one right around the time I want. Oh no, these are really shitty. Yeah, normally they're a lot faster, but this is a pretty weird morning for me. I gotta get one more sub 1.2. Come on. Come on. There we go. So that one was pretty good. And I normally do them about the speed or faster when I'm warmed up. So I'm looking for 3 in a row. This one, I tend to just go Y-perm or T-perm, Y-perm, do all the easy ones, the faster ones first, and then get to the slower ones, because the slower ones will be really slow when you start off. And then if you've worked on the faster ones, then by the time you get to the slower ones, it'll go quicker. So yeah, that's what I do now. And then then after this, I move on to turbo tracking. So this is just my little thing. Basically, I am going to choose a corner. In my case, I choose a corner and an edge. So I found it makes it a lot more difficult if you choose non-related corner and edges. So I'm probably going to fail right now, but whatever. I'm going to choose this corner right here, this white, orange, and blue corner, and this yellow and green edge. And I'm going to track them. So you're going to want to start with just a corner or an edge, whichever one you have most trouble tracking. And I'm going to start messing up the cube as quickly as possible. And let's see, so my edge was here and my corner was there. They actually ended up right next to each other, which was good. And you're gonna scramble it for about 10 to 15 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, whichever one you want. Whenever you start feeling like you might lose it, just keep track of it. The idea is not to be blindfoldedly doing this, so like, I found this one, I knew that one's there, but I didn't know where the other one was because I wasn't looking at the cube. The idea is to practice tracking at high speed, so that you can move at a higher speed while you're solving. And I go through this, and I do this for about 45 seconds to a minute, and then I just move on to slow solve. So this is where most people are how most people start their day. So I just go through, and I'm color neutral, by the way, so I'm just doing green right now, and I look around for my pieces to start my slow solving. So yeah, and this would be this would be a lot smoother and better because I would have done all my PLL, so my fingers would just be completely warmed up and ready to go. Yeah, and that's it. I normally do about an average of 12 for my warm-ups, and then I'm done. Yeah, if any of you guys have any questions, please let me know. I think this is really effective. You know, this took me a lot longer to explain than I think it would have to do. I probably would have been done. Let's see, this video is at 14 minutes. I probably would have been done with my warm-up somewhere around here, maybe about 15, 16 minutes. You'd be surprised, like, how quickly the PLLs go. I know that T-perm looked like it was going to take a while, but that was just because I was warming up and because I've recently changed it to a regripless one, which is really nice, by the way, but, you know, yeah. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, comment, subscribe. See ya.